Hello and welcome to Rays of Hope today. We are very excited that you are with us and that you've continued to keep it CAC TV. We are happy because this is a very important season in the calendar of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa and more so in the women ministry of the church. And that also has an implication in the worldwide church because this season we are celebrating 100 years since the formation of the Women's Guild Ministry. That's a women ministry in the Presbyterian Church of East Africa. And that makes me so very happy that you, together with us, are actually part of these celebrations. We are in it. I'm Lucy Wawero, your host, saying Karibu Tena. And today, that being the season that we are in, we are celebrating 100. So we are saying 100 and beyond, and we are celebrating young women. That's why today we have young women in the ministry, and also we have the leader of the women ministry with us, and it's such an honor to have you on board.
Thank you.
So we start from the extreme right.
Yes.
The director of women ministry in
Yes.
the PCH. Please say hello and introduce yourself.
Yes, hello. I want to take this opportunity to greet you in the name of Jesus. My name is Elizabeth Kimani and I love the Lord as my Savior. I'm glad to be here. Reverend Lucy, thank you for the invitation to just celebrate the young ladies and tell the story, because it's a story that we have come to tell our viewers, and I want to believe that we will learn something and we'll be blessed and we will celebrate together in this very special season to us. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Indeed, we are so honored to have you here.
Yes.
I mean, because you are at the heart of the celebration, you are at the heart of this story.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for coming. Next to our director is Rachel Wangari. It's so good to have you on board.
Thank you.
Karibu sana Rachel.
Asante.
Introduce yourself and tell us what you do in life and also where you serve.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I'm so glad to be here. My name is Rachel Mwagi. I am born again and I love the Lord. I am an accountant by profession, and I work in a BMO in this country, and I am from PCA Makadara Parish, and I serve in the Women's Guild besides other groups, and currently I am serving as a vice secretary in the parish, and I'm so glad to be here.
Wonderful. Sasa wewe, Rachel, we are used to GMO. Now you've introduced another one, BMO.
BMO.
What is that?
Business Membership Organization.
Business?
Membership Organization.
You know, part of this, part of the work of this program is to educate.
Yes.
When you say BMO, the chim is GMO, or what is it? Karibu sana, Rachel.
Thank you.
We are glad that you're here.
Asante.
And you're doing a good job.
Asante.
Hey, next to me, I feel very nice and very young because I am next to Dorcas Waithera.
Yes.
We are happy to have you.
Thank you so
Introduce
much.
yourself, tell us what you do.
Sure.
Unajenga taifa wapi? And where do you serve?
Okay. I praise the Lord. I want to greet each and every one of you wherever you're watching us from. My name is Dorcas Waithera Mboro. I'm born again and I love the Lord. This far he has been so faithful in my life. I serve at PCA Ruiru Town Church, that is in Ruiru Presbytery, as a music director, and I'm so much honored to be here to celebrate 100 years. It is a blessing. Yes.
Wow. Karibu sana Dorcas.
Thank you so much.
This young lady ako ndani. She's serving in the church as a music director.
Yes.
And she's also in the guild. Can you imagine that combination? I mean, fireworks right here. And this is Rays of Hope, just in case you are just joining us.
Yes.
And here we inspire resilience, courage, and more importantly, hope. And today, as we said earlier, we are saying 100 and beyond, celebrating young women in the ministry and especially in the Women's Guild.
Yes.
A wonderful movement. And first of all, even before we get to the beginning, of this whole story, how does it feel like to be part of an organization that is 100 years? We don't have very many organizations that are that old. 100 years, and also to be alive and to be serving within this period of celebrating. And how does it feel like being at the center, leading at this important moment?
Wow, Reverend Lucy, I must say that when I was thinking about an organization that has been there for 100 years, I tried to find around. I got a few, and that was, it was, you know, it told me, or I told myself that this is an organization that is blessed, because for it to last for 100 years, and it's something that you hand over from generation to generation, then it is God oriented. It is something that, you know, started with God. So you have asked, how does it feel? One, in fact, I was asking God, you mean, God, you wanted me to be right at the center. You knew right from the word go that I'll be the one who will, you know, spearhead this. It is exciting, yet it has also its own, you know, issues in terms of preparation, and you want things to go well, and you're managing a big group, and with some hurdles here and there. But we thank God because we are here, and God knew that a time like this, we shall be present. We shall be there to celebrate. So on one hand, it is even an honor, Reverend Lucy. It is so humbling. I think that's the correct word. It's so humbling to feel that and to see that you are in it, and you know, all eyes are waiting to hear what is this that you were yet to release. So I thank God, and I feel so humbled, so humbled. Yes.
After all is said and done, we thank God.
We thank God.
And we actually celebrate you.
Oh,
I mean, for spearheading this.
Yes.
It's been amazing so far, and we can only imagine what the year has in store for us with all the activities and celebrations lined up.
Sure.
We are following closely, and we are in it. Thank you very much. Dorcas,
Yes.
young lady,
Yes.
how does it feel like?
I would say it's a blessing, because actually I'm celebrating my first month since I became a full member of the guild. So it is somehow a dream come true, and I really praise the Lord because of this, that I will remember that at such a time as this, when we were celebrating 100 years, I was part of this. I was a full member, so I don't take it for granted. Many young girls outside there would wish to be part of such a celebration, but they did not make it, but I made it. So I really thank God because of this.
Actually, you are part of the celebration then.
Oh, yeah.
Because within the 100 years, she has also become a full member.
Oh, yes.
And we'll get to know how you become a full member. Because I am sure other young women out there are wondering,
What is
how?
this?
What is this? As in, she became a full member, now how?
Yeah. Kwani she was half.
When is she half a member, or what's going on?
You know.
Right, so another young lady here, right here. How does it feel?
I would say it's such a joy, and you know, when a story is written and you're part of the people that are reading that story, and more so a story that was written by visionaries, because from 1922, I think, celebrating 100 years is because there are visionaries that started this. So I am so glad, and I thank God that I am part of it, and it's such a joy to be in this ministry. And I want to believe that what we are celebrating today, if those that started would be here today, they would be happy with what we are celebrating. So I am so honored to be celebrating the 100 years and to be part of it.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Confession. I am also a member of the Women's Guild. I'm a full member of the Women's Guild.
Yes.
And I joined when I was actually her age. Many years ago, and it has been a blessing. So let me just make that clear. I confess that I am also very excited to be part of this.
Yes.
And so even for me to host this program is not like any other program. It's such a joyous thing to be here. So back to the beginning, Reverend Elizabeth.
Yes.
What is the place of girls and young women in this organization? So that we can know why we are celebrating young women.
Yes, we are celebrating young women, our dear viewers, because the guild began with the young girls. It was not even for the women. It was women per se, those that are married, but it began with the young girls. How? Because when the missionaries came, to Kenya so that they can start their missionary work, they also came with their spouses. And others who are not married, they also volunteered to come. So when you're talking about a history of since 1891, is also a long history. So when they came, we remember women like Marion Stevenson, we remember women like Minnie Watson, and many others that are mentioned. As the missionaries, the men, they were doing mission. These were women missionaries. They also thought about girls and women. So they wanted to do something. So one of the things they did is to educate the women, those Gikuyu Christian women, to educate them on not only on the Word of God, but also on other matters of life, so that they can also know how to, become even better wives, better mothers. These small, how to cook, how to, take care of family. So they were teaching them. Then they also had, a concern about the girls. So they also took them aside and they were giving them Bible study, they were coming together for a fellowship, doing Bible study together. Also teaching them how to cook, how to do this, to sew, and other things. So in that mood of coming together, they were also teaching them about the dangers of female genital mutilation. Remember, it was, but then it was so rampant. So they will also bring them aside and tell them why it is not good to practice that. So by and by, the fellowship became strong, and then finally, because wherever they had come from, they had this guild, the women coming together, they thought it wise to also initiate it here. So that's how the fellowship began. So now serious matters began in terms of their relationship with God, in terms of their integrity, in terms of their morality, so that as they are taught all those, then they were fit now to begin now this fellowship. So that was in 1922 and a little bit earlier, but now in 1923, now the first lot of girls was commissioned. So after commissioning, then there was that continuation of the teachings, and then another second group again was also commissioned in 1926. So from there, then the group started growing slowly, and in other places now, that is now in around 1940s, other places, they started teaching women. But before then, there was a lapse. Imagine this fellowship was initiated by God, because there was some years that it was just quiet. Nothing was happening. That was between I think it was between 19, let me just check, because it's 1930 to 1943. There was that quietness. But then later, Reverend Charles Kareri, who was the first moderator, so the very Reverend Charles Kareri, helped again revive it. After him coming from South Africa, then learning what the women there are doing, then he came and talked to the women, and then there was a revival again. So after that revival, then it continued until we are here today. But there's also another story of now that they are being taught about circumcision, the female, the FGM, and the women, their mothers were also taught about the dangers of them. Then there was a group that started saying no to FGM, and it didn't augur well with the other members of the community. So this girl, when it comes to times of circumcision, they would run away. Then run away, go where? So there was now the idea of, we need to house these girls. They have run away from their homes, and their mothers are supporting them, but yet they cannot host them again in their house, because the fathers and the community, they are saying, you must go through the cut. So that is when now they look for a place where they can house them, so such that they would go and learn in school, and they be trained of those training that I talked about, and then they would come and be housed. That is where we have a word called mabere. Mabere is that boarding school where they were housed, so that now they will be safe. So now with that, now the fellowship became stronger and stronger. And many women started saying, no. Okay, there's another history about that. I wouldn't talk about that because of time, but that is a genesis. That the women from the missionaries, they came, thought about girls, thought about women, wanted to give them some teachings. Then in the midst of the teaching, because they are Christian, there's a Bible study. Then a fellowship began. And after that now, here we are today. Many years. Each generation carrying it and taking it to other generation, handing over, and here we are today. So that's the genesis. So that's why we are celebrating young women. And we want to say that we want to have as many as possible, because the initial, in fact, the aim of the Women's Guild is to unite women and girls into fellowship so that they can devote themselves to do three things. One is worship, the other one is coming together in fellowship, and number 3 is service. So that aim must continue. So there is some work to do, because again, with where we are today, there will be need for us to do quite a lot of mentoring so that we can continue. You know, that vision, what Rachel had mentioned, that vision to remain even today and even in the years to come. Yes.
Wow, wonderful history. Actually, I'm sitting here feeling like a young girl listening to this wonderful story, like those little kids listening to the retelling. And I think these celebrations this year give us an opportunity to hear again,
the genesis,
and be able to retell the story, because that's why we're saying 100 and beyond. Because fine, we are in 100, but then how does the beyond also look like? And just for records, Reverend, you see these women who started this fellowship with the young girls, lest we imagine that they were grandmas. They were not.
Yes.
They were also very young.
By the way, let me also mention that, because by then, when it was beginning 1922 and 26 thereabout, it was Girls' Guild. Later, now these small young girls, they have grown up. Now there is need for them to begin families. So now they have become mothers. And after that, then the name changed from Girls' Guild to Women's Guild. And you know, when you talk about a woman, it's more inclusive, because even the young girls are also women. Yeah, they're also, so that's how it changed. So they didn't begin as grandmas.
No.
Young girls, schooling, yes, and then by until they transited.
Their mentors were young.
They were also
young.
young.
Remember the missionaries when they came?
Yes,
they were also in their 20s.
Yes, they were also young.
They were young people that had devoted their lives to serving the Lord.
Yes.
So it's never too early.
No.
To start serving. No, it's not too early. So, and because of that, let's hear why did you decide to join? I mean, what was your inspiration as a young woman? I think that would be interesting to hear.
Thank you for that question. My inspiration as a young woman to join the women ministry and the Women's Guild per se was, for me, the girl child is in my heart. It's the girl child has a place in my heart. And so I looked and I felt I have a call for the girl child. And so I felt that in the women ministry is where I can be able to interact more with women and the girls. So I would say that is what inspired me. And I also felt like in the Women's Guild, there is a diversity in terms of service. You are not closed. So I as a woman in the Women's Guild, I'm not closed in how I serve and who I serve. So I felt that diversity is what will work for me. And also I felt that from here I can learn more also about mentoring younger girls. And maybe someday they may join Women's Guild, but more so to be able to walk in the line and in the ways of God. That was I would say, my inspiration. And also looking at the people that are ahead of us. You know, there are those people you look at and you really admire. You're like, I think she's like that because she's in the women ministry. So that was also something also that pulled me to the women ministry.
Wow.
Yes.
So firstly, the passion to serve.
Yes.
And that found a match in the Women's Guild.
Yes.
Where we talk about service.
Very true. And also the fellowship.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Wonderful. It's good. How long have you been on this journey?
I joined the Women's Guild. I was commissioned as a full member in 2014.
Wow.
Yes,
So
and it's
you
been
had
the
a journey.
greatest journey, the best,
The
I would
best
say,
journey.
yes.
You don't regret.
I cannot.
If you
go
went back to 2014, you would still join?
Oh yes, even 2010.
You'd still join. Wonderful. Now
Wow.
the latest
Yeah,
kid.
there
is
she
the
is.
Lord.
Oh,
You
yes.
know,
So I mean,
Yes.
in this day and age,
yeah.
this day and age,
Yes.
when there's so much that is trending, other things, why would a young lady want to join the Women's Guild?
Okay. I would say your character really matters so much. And the reason as to why I'm saying this is I really admired the Women Guild, the Women's Guild Fellowship. Their character, they are different. Their morals are different from the rest, kabisa. So like I desired to be part of that, to be part of that fellowship. And that is what really inspired me. Yes.
Wow.
Mm.
So you desired mpaka ukaingia.
Yes. There's a lot of things that you preach by just your character, by what you do. Yes.
So just by looking at a person, they are a Bible already. In the speaking, and the women you're saying,
Yes.
they inspired you
Yes.
in that way.
Yes.
I'll come back to you, but allow me to put our director on the spot because we want to hear when did she join? Was she? I mean,
Was I a grandma?
of course you're not even now. But then, how has your journey been?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, my journey began in the year 2001. That was when I was commissioned, and later the following year also, just like the Constitution talks about a year, but you see nowadays we are finding ourselves waiting for 2 years, but the Constitution talks about immediately after your commission, 1 year down the line, then you can go to that level of becoming a full member. So I became a full member in the year 2002. It has been a journey of 21 years down the line. But just like Dorcas is saying, I love these women, beginning from my mother and my grandmother. They are members of the Women's Guild. And the way they used to carry themselves, even at home, you know, they used to go and be taught how to cook, how to take care of their families. So we were taken good care of out of the teachings that they got. And I also used to love their seminars. They used to call us, even when before I was a member of the guild, they used to call us and tell us things that even your mother would not tell you. You remember those days. Some of these things, even parents would shy of mentioning them. But here we were black and white. And then you're able to get, you know, some knowledge about, oh, kumbe, if I go this direction, then I'm in trouble. By and by. I also admired their leaders. Like now, in my case, coming from the Rift Valley region, because that is where I was born and bred, the Honorable Mary Mbogwa, she was by then the guild organizer. And I used to love her stories. You see, I would even sneak in. When they are at the fellowship ya wa mama, I used to sneak in quietly, and then I would listen and I would hear stories, good stories. So and also you hear women giving testimonies of how they have the guild has helped them, has shaped them. So with that, now here I am today, now serving in the capacity that the Lord has given me, and enjoying every bit being in the midst of women and girls. Yes.
Wow. Same here, but my story for another day, because I'm not here to give my story.
Yes.
So, but same story.
Same
I
story.
second what they have said. I really second that because it's so true, and it's such a joyous journey. But then, when you decided back to you to join. Did people celebrate you, like your friends, other girls, not just in church?
Yes.
How is the reaction when you say that you want to join?
The reaction was not that friendly, because they are wondering, you are a girl, as in, unataka kwenda kufungwa kitambaa ukae kama mama, you know. Yeah, that is the first reaction I got. And I remember when I first joined, I just wanted to be part of that, and I learned first. I desired, so I got in the fellowship to learn first. and see how things are done and all that. And I remember I lost a lot of friends.
You did.
Very many friends did not.
Like real friends or
Yes.
followers. You know, nowadays you have to know whether ni likes umelose. What kind of friends?
Kuna wale tunasemanga mabesti. Those people that
like
are very close to you.
real.
Those friends, yes. And that is when I realized my true friends and those that are not my true friends. Because I just want to serve God in another dimension.
Yeah.
I'm still your friend. So I really felt bad, but then I was ready to pursue this because number one, I love serving God, and that is another opportunity to be able to serve God. So yes, I lost friends, but it was okay for me because I knew I'll still continue serving God. Yes.
I think you retained some, perhaps, and you'll get many more.
Yes, actually, there are some who like desired to even join the Women's Guild. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that is why I said your character really matters a lot. Because just by joining the fellowship, through me, God used me to make another girl somewhere to desire to be part of this.
Wow.
Yes.
And that's why we are celebrating you
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
And by the way, for the viewer, this is the girl who plays keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she sings.
Yes, yes.
I mean, you're such a blessing. What does a music director do?
A lot of things. Train, coordinates, lead in praising and worshiping the Lord, play instruments, teach how to play instruments. Yes, there's a lot.
Oh, there's a lot.
In fact, I know Dorcas when she was a follower, and for the last 2 years before she even became a full member, we have worked with her. Both, even here in CAC TV, we have invited her to come and play the keyboard. She even recently was at the GSC leading worship, so I also know her, her story.
I mean, the service bit.
Yes, the service bit.
The service bit of it. And now another crown.
Because of the Lord.
Added.
Yes.
Oh, and we truly celebrate. And now that we're talking about 1 year, 2 year, what does it take to join the Women's Guild? And what are the ages? Because maybe somebody's asking, these ones look younger. We see others joining in their middle ages. I mean, in their middle age. I mean, what?
Okay. One, we say that for you to join guild is for you to desire. It's not something that you are forced in, because when you are forced, then again, when you meet challenges and you find you will feel like this is not where I wanted to be. So the desire comes, and as we are mentioning, you look at the women you desire, say, hey, I would like to be like this. So that is one. Number two, your character. It really matters, because you cannot just come in and then people now start questioning your character. And it is God who helps us shape our character. So if you love God and you love Him sincerely, then your character will be shaped slowly by slowly. And I'm sure even these girls here, they have really seen a lot of change, even in terms of their loving God. Then after that, now you mention it to your leaders that I would want to become a member of the Women's Guild. So they allow you in after, of course, checking a few other things, and then you begin following. And following here, we mean you begin now walking with the women, side by side, doing what they are doing, going to their fellowships, their prayers, going to do acts of mercy, and all the other things, all the other activities that are involved. And then for the follower, we have a different scarf. We have a white one with the blue dots. That was only to just see the difference between this one and this one. So you follow, and the entry age is 20. 20 is when now you can become now a serious follower. But we have seen even other smaller girls just following. But official one is 20 years. So 20 years moving onwards, you can become a guild member. So after 2 years, then now what she's talking about, full member, so that now the members will not wonder wanakuanga half. So full member means now that, no, 2 years, after following 2 years, then you have the head scarf. That's what we call commissioning. You're given the scarf, you're given a card, you're given the constitution, the guide, and then you're given another small book for him. Then from there, after 2 years, the Constitution talks about 1 year. So 1 year or 2 years down the line, or 3 years down the line, then you qualify. But what makes you qualify, not really the number of years, but whether you have been able to follow very, very keenly the 3 vows that you take when you are being commissioned. So that's really what qualifies you. Whether you have, whether you say that I'll live a life that my moral life is good. That is 1. Number 2, whichever work that the Lord will give you will accept. Number 3, and you say that I will give God's work the first priority. Then mine becomes second. So those 3. So after that, when you have followed, then you're given a badge. And that badge now is what makes you now a full member. In other words, you're saying now you have gotten to the full measure, where now there is no any other ceremony that will be done to you as a guild member. Sasa umefikisha pale.
So can you become a leader in the women's, when you are commissioned, or at what point can you?
After now you have been given a badge, the Constitution says you stay for 3 years. You can wait for 3 years, and then they can start seeing a possibility of you becoming a leader. They give you an opportunity. And happy to hear that Rachel here is a secretary, vice secretary of a whole parish.
That's big.
Imagine she announces and does some writings for the women. So that's really, I feel so good. There was also another time I also saw another girl. She was a secretary. So when we had gone for a commissioning, imagine she's the one giving the announcement and calling on the names. Then I was like, hey, to me that was great. So I love that is mentorship, and I encourage women, give these girls the opportunity, because imagine she's a whole accountant. In an institution, why are you then not allowing her to serve in those high capacities? And that is where we just mentor them to become great leaders, even in the future.
Wonderful. Yes. And with that, because it's getting better and sweeter, with that we would like to take a short break. We are coming back because we are celebrating 100 and beyond, and today we have young women on set, and they're giving us their testimony. So we take a short break. Don't go away. We will be back.
Women's Guild is a fellowship whose aim is to unite both women and girls through fellowship, worship, and service.
Kazi hii ya Women's Guild ilianza miaka ya zamani. Kama tunavyojua ni miaka 100 tangu waanze kutumika katika kanisa hili.
This year is a special year to us, for we will be celebrating 100 years since the first group of girls was commissioned in 1922. Since then, the group has grown and has impacted many lives.
Sikuwa najua kushona chondo, lakini saa hii nimefunzwa na mwalimu wangu, nikafunzika kweli. Sababu nikishona 1 2 nauza, napata kitu ya kulisha watoto.
The thing that ilinivutia sana kwa Women's Guild, kuna kitu wanaitanga giko giatha in Kikuyu, and imekuwa ikinivutia sana.
PCA St. Andrew's Tumaini Children's Home was started like 22 years ago, the year 2000. It's a project of the Women's Guild. Specifically, the target was HIV orphaned children, just to extend compassion and give hope. Tumaini is about hope.
Indeed, we can count God's blessings, and like Samuel, we are saying, this far the Lord has helped us.
The Women's Guild is marking 100 years. It's a milestone.
For this reason, we have set aside 1 week of celebration. Please join us as we celebrate the faithfulness of God.
Mwisho wa mambo yote umekaribia sana.
Welcome back, Rays of Hope. Today, a special edition because we are celebrating 100 years of the Women's Guild Ministry in the Presbyterian Church of East Africa. And today we are saying we are 100 and beyond. How does the beyond look like actually? And we're celebrating young women. We've had a lot. We've had a lot of this beautiful journey, and which you can also join in. It's not too late to actually join. So we were at the point where we were saying, how did your friends and others react, colleagues, when you said that you wanted to join the Women's Guild?
For me, I wouldn't really say I lost friends. I think what the reaction was, those that are not Presbyterians, they wanted to understand more. What is this? Because we just see women, and we've always thought ni wa mama. So why is it that you are in it? So I think for me, most of them wanted to understand more and to get to know about it. And there was support from my friends, and because you know, I have always served God, so they encouraged me to do more. And I would say that I had a lot of support from some retro girls, and I got to know that day, you know, girls that admire you. Like there was one who was in class 4, and she had prepared a very nice poem for me.
Wow!
And for me, it was such life changing. You know, it changed my thoughts, even about the Women's Guild, and it actually made me know that indeed I'm in the right place. And I also got to educate others about the Women's Guild in the PCA Church. Yes.
Wonderful. And Rev told us that she actually took herself as a little girl sneaking in and everything. So yours was just seamless. You just joined. How was that?
It was okay, but of course you wouldn't miss one or two ridiculous. That wow. Utakaa kama mama. Utakuwa unatembea na mama. Wow. But little did they know also that it is going to be a life-changing experience. Because indeed, I want to tell our viewers that when you join such a fellowship, it doesn't leave you just the way you are. And it is a place where you are mentored, it's a place where you are counseled, it's a place where you are rebuked, even when you start, you know, going other direction, and in love they're able to bring you back. So there was that ridicule, but it wasn't much anyway. In fact, let me say that the women in our church, they were so happy. They were so excited to have a girl within their fellowship, which was also rare. Even during my days, it was also rare. And my mom was so happy. She was so happy. And we have walked this journey together. Yes.
Si wewe utume salamu kwa hiyo church yenu
hiyo church yetu ya Njoro. I come from Rift Valley region. Njoro Presbytery, by then it was Elbagon Presbytery, but it was subdivided. Now I belong to Njoro Presbytery at home, that is, so that they will not get confused. And my home, my church is Njoro Church. I want to salute all of the women there, beginning with my mother, and the rest of the women. We have worked closely with them, even up to today. They still ask for me to guide them. So it's an honor seeing these women were, you know, above me, and now today they're asking me to give them some counsel and advice. And I want to salute my mchungaji, Reverend Tony Matiko. I greet you and I salute you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Now let's get to a very interesting portion where we talk about the joys and challenges of serving in this fellowship as a young woman, especially. Tuanze na the latest.
The joy, I would say that number one, I love serving God. And because I love serving God, I love what I do. And now that I'm a girl guild, there is joy when I have an opportunity to go out there and speak to young girls and tell them that this is the way you should follow, this is the way you should not follow. So the joy comes in because I'm able to share. I'm able to share to those that has not yet joined. Yes, so the challenges.
Ngoja kwanza tuanze na joys. Tuanze alafu tuingize kwa challenges. Yes, the joys.
For me, the joy is, like I said, in the Women's Guild, there is diversity in service. And for me, that's where my joy is. Today you are going to see a sick person. Tomorrow you are going to encourage someone who is going through so much. I think for me, I feel, you know, God cannot come down here and do the things that we are supposed to do. So when I do that, there's a lot of joy and a lot of fulfillment for me. And you know, that diversity, that I'm not just sitting waiting for a day to meet or something, but I can be able to represent God where he needs to be represented. For me, that's my biggest joy. And also being, you know, we are told you should be like a letter that can be read. So knowing that as a Women's Guild member, there's so much. I am surrounded by a cloud of witnesses. So studying as a Women's Guild, knowing that even before I speak, there's someone looking at me. I think it's also a joy for me. Yes.
That keeps you in check.
Yes, it keeps me in check.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And actually there's a word that keeps coming up, and I think Reverend emphasized on that, that you really must love service.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Because that's what brings the joy and the fulfillment. You must love it.
Not just sitting and waiting, you know, you are also involved.
Yes.
Part of the ministry.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that is very, very exciting. And as she's saying, Rev, the fulfillment that you get, even when you get so tired, sometimes I get so tired, maybe planning something, an activity, or thinking how will it be. By the end of the day, even though you're tired and you feel worn out, the fulfillment that I had an opportunity to meet the women, I talked to them, or you were in a prayer meeting, that fulfillment is so satisfying.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
And that's what we're looking for in
Yes,
life.
yes. Very true.
Fulfillment
Yeah.
in what we are doing. And what an opportunity that you're not just there to sit in the pew, but you're there to be involved. As you move along, you're also doing it. Yes. Back to you, Rachel.
Yes.
Challenges.
The challenges, I would say, from where I sit now, especially as a girl guild, the challenges is what people expect of you. And you see, everyone is on their own journey, but there are people in this position that want you to live their journey or to move in their, you know, in their journey or in their time. I think for me that's the challenge. But at the end of the day, you sit yourself down and tell yourself, I am living my own life, and I cannot live according to your time. For example, when you're Girl Guild, people want you to get married at their time, but you have your time, and there's God's time. So I think that's the biggest challenge, where people want you to live their life and not your own. Yes.
And yet you must live your life.
And I must live my
You're
life.
actually living.
Yes.
Very true.
I would say also what she has said, people's expectations, and also the view from the society, like you're just wasting time, you know. Yeah, that is what I would say. Like, and I would really desire that people understand that it's not wastage of time. No, actually, it is. It is a what? I'm lacking the word to define this, but it's not time wastage. Yes.
You don't waste time when you're serving the Lord.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. It's so good to hear that now. There's one that like you mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah, that people expect you to get married and all that, because listening to people, that's one of the main things they want to know.
Yes.
So I'm asking you now, wasichana wa Guild ukatiwa. Because girls out there want to hear this. They want to hear this. But we will have a testimony because Rev got married. Yes.
Yeah, very true. Girl guilds tunakatiangwa sana. Yes. And what I would say is that your response now is what matters. You know, you have to stand your ground with your faith. Yes, but tunakatiangwa sana.
Tunakatiangwa?
Sana.
Okay. So si ati watu wanakuhepa or anything.
Yes.
Rachel.
Yes. Yeah, of course, kukatiwa tunakatiwa. And it's not, you know, kukatiwa lazima ikue for you to get to the next level of marriage.
Sure.
So kukatiwa tunakatiwa, but you see you don't follow every mukatiaji.
Yes, you don't follow mkatiaji.
Yes. So at the end of the day, hata kama unakatiwa, you have to look at what you want in life and follow it. And ukikatiwa na mwenye unaona munaenda in the same line, why not? You go ahead and move on. Yeah.
And she talked about character very much. We talked about values and what you stand for, and that's what I think makes the difference. And I just wanted viewers to know that girls in the Women's Guild are normal.
And potential.
They are normal girls. They're normal girls. And Rev got married.
Yes.
Ulikatiwa tu kiwa mguild.
Oi, kwanza yangu ilikuwa kali. Because imagine I was a guild member and then later I was ordained. So you can imagine those two, you know, the combination is a serious girl. And I remember even when after ordination, some people saying, wow. Yani they are like, wananihurumia ati, wow, wewe,
you're done.
Sasa you are done. But I thank God because God does not work in such ways. If he really wants to bless you, there will be somebody who will not now see what other people are saying. There's somebody somewhere out there, they're just looking for somebody who they can be compatible, somebody you can walk this journey of marriage with. And even hizo vitu hazitakuwa hata si kitu. It's not, in fact to them is a plus. Because now of the training, the mentorship that one has gone through, then they say, wow, now this is somebody we can walk together. So yes, I was a girl when I was commissioned as a woman. I was a woman's guild. Then I was also a girl when I was ordained as a clergy, but later on then God blessed me, and I'm also a mother. So I thank God. So hiyo story unasema iko kukatiwa iko, and in fact ni wengi, but you see when they also come and maybe they have a different agenda, maybe others just want to waste your life, and when you stand your ground as she's saying, anaenda tu. But there's that other person also, he does not want to waste your life. He wants you to spend your life and his life together. So that person will also take care of you so that you go the right direction.
Rays of hope.
Yes. So there's hope.
Rays of hope out there. Girls, don't fear coming in. You'll not be labeled. I mean, you live your life. It's a normal life, but it's more enjoyable. It's joyous and it's very, very fulfilling. Now we're talking about 100 and beyond. Reverend,
yes.
You want to start us off. How, from your leadership position, how does the beyond 100 look like, and especially for young, generally, and then also for the agenda for young people?
Yes, for these 100 years, one of the things I'm telling women is that each of us, we have a story. Okay, I'm not 100 years. But where I joined in, then I have my journey. Like now I'm talking about 21 years down the line since I was commissioned. So that's a journey. So each one of us, even Dorcas here, she also has her journey. It might be a small or just a short one, but it's also a journey. So I'm telling the women and the girls, just look back, see where you have come from. See how God has shaped your life. See the blessings that you have experienced serving in the Women's Guild. Count that as a blessing. Number two, even being alive today, being part of the celebration is also a blessing. There are many who were like us, they are not alive today. Then I'm also reminding ourselves that after looking back and giving thanks, just see how would you want to impact? How would you want to influence other people? What is your space within the Women's Guild? Because I believe we are all gifted differently. She can sing, she's an accountant, hata pengine sahi anaanza tu kutuhesabu, tukiwa tu hapa tu anatuhesabu, si ama atatusort. So kila mtu with their gifting. So we have been gifted. So with that special gift that the Lord has given you, come in, serve the Lord, and do it to an extent that you can leave a legacy, such that like the way we are seeing what the women from 1922, the girls, how their journey has been, leave a legacy, touch a life, change a life, mentor somebody. You can even help somebody who is in need. Those are the things we want to see even, you know, more and more, even as we get into beyond 100 years. Also in terms of leadership, Reverend Lucy, it is good to, now I love what, she's also a leader. She says one of her whatever job description is leadership. So when we see leaders that are being made in the Women's Guild, and I was reading a story where even those earlier women who are not so much educated, they mentored women and ladies to become clergy. They mentored them to become elders. So there's that aspect of mentoring people to become leaders. So come out, just find your space even in the leadership, be it in the nation, be it, and by the way, Reverend Lucy, let me tell you, the time I have been in the Guild, I've been able to discover that we have many women who are in very high positions in this nation, and they're members of the Women's Guild. And I believe that is, you know, their service, when they take it there, as they begin their humble beginnings, even in their career life, that service is seen, thus they are elevated and God gives them promotions. So take those positions of leadership, even either in church, in corporate world, even in the nation, take it. There's also that aspect of after now you have gotten into the service, you know, one of the things that the women did, and that's why they acquired the name, you know, Kiamakeago, is protecting the girls. We have many vulnerable girls, girls who are being abused, girls who cannot even afford, you know, the usual basic needs, girls, even young mothers who are being abused in their marriage. What can we do? We can change policies, we can do advocacy. Those are the things that we need to do now and beyond, so that even another 100 years, women will be in another position. They'll find their space, they will be able to also be heard wherever they are because of the journey they have come.
Wonderful,
yes,
wonderful.
yes.
Well said.
Yes.
So here you're saying that 100 and beyond is more service, more service, more leadership, more
true.
presence, more impact. That's what
true.
we are saying.
Very true.
So as we begin to wind up, what does the 100 and beyond look like in a minute?
For me, 100 and beyond looks, for me, is more on mentorship. For me, I'm looking at that little girl and protecting them and helping them know who they are, identity, and also knowing that there are channels should they face challenges in life, that they don't have to be silent. We are not in an era where a child or a girl, for that matter, should be silent when they go through issues in life. So for me, it's more on mentorship and mentoring that little girl to identify herself as a woman and knowing that she has the right to speak out should she go through issues in life.
Mentorship.
Yes, mentorship.
And I think you're part of the...
Yes, I'm part of the mentorship that's we just began in the Women's Guild, which we are taking out into our parishes and our congregations. And we want to ensure that every girl is mentored to become, so that they graduate from where they are to become great women. More so great godly women who also have and value the virtues of life. Yes.
Wonderful. So greatness.
Yes.
Mentoring into greatness, into exploiting potential.
Yes.
Dorcas, what does 100 and beyond look like for you?
I would say promising if there's a condition. We mentor the girl from that young age. Because I want to believe, because we are taught even good morals, she will have a greater future. We will be preparing a ground or a foundation for this girl to become a good wife in the 100 years to come. Yes.
And a professional and all that Rachel raised. Wonderful. So preparing the girl, mentoring the girls for that great future. And she said it's promising. So the future is promising.
It is.
And it's on that promising note that we actually bring this to an end. It's been nice having you. Taking your time and sharing these wonderful experiences. Reverend taking us down, memory lane to just learn and telling us how the future looks like. I mean, this is amazing. Watch the space because there's a lot that is lined up for these celebrations. 1922 to 2025. 22. So this is the year, and we thank God for what has been, what is happening, and what will happen even in the days to come.
Yes.
So thank you very much for joining us. Please know that there is hope. Even for your situation at the moment, there is hope. Our hope is in Jesus Christ. So keep hope alive. Until next time, bye-bye, and God bless you.
Amen.